Thank you, Steve. All right, well, let's segue to another one of my FOCs, a friend of Cindy, Paul Devine. We know him well from, numerous things. He's a great designer, and I love his stuff that you've seen at the Pasadena Showcase House. He has a number of galleries, including a new one he's kind of taking on this project in a very historic property on Lake Avenue. And, And we're going to talk about that and also what he's doing with his own home. So, Paul Devine, great to have you in the house.
Yeah, always great to be here.
So, first, let's talk about, you don't think small. You think
I'm
large.
all over the place these days. Oh, my God. My main focus right now is the gallery in Pasadena and getting ready for Showcase House. We're like Santa's workroom. We're busy matting and pulling together collections and developing card lines, and we're busy.
Yeah, you have a nice little card that you brought here today.
Yeah.
And this is going to be at the Showcase House Marketplace.
Yeah, we're developing some new card lines just for Pasadena Showcase House. Mm-hmm. Everything, including taking old vintage photographs. Watercolors and doing some assemblage work and interesting stuff. And not too expensive. Definitely a good hostess gift to give somebody.
Yeah. Well, you're all about framing and using creative methods to present that piece of art in a creative way, right?
Yeah, and I was just recently voted, knock, 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 on as the best framer in Pasadena.
Wow.
And also, I think this was a sympathy vote, but the best interior designer in Pasadena, because we have so many wonderful designers. I don't know how I slipped that one in, but I definitely am the best framer in that area.
Isn't that great?
Yeah.
Well, I'm glad to know you.
Yeah, I know.
Jeez.
You knew me when.
Wow. Well, talk about the historic property, though, that this old gas station, right? What is that, and what are you doing with it? It's the Ronnie's Automotive.
It was Ronnie's Automotive. Now it's Polly's Automotive, or service station.
And why did you pick that as your next gallery?
Well, I needed production space, and it was priced right, and it was an interesting property. And the first day I owned it, I got a call from a segment producer and asked if they wanted to use it, if they could use it for filming. Uh-huh. And it turned out to be on a Super Bowl commercial. So if you go to CarMax.com and search under service station, you'll see the property. It's cute. It was a 1920s gas station.
I love those vintage stations, like the one at the farmers market. You can still see that.
Yeah.
With the bright reds and yellows
Well, this was green, and so when we were doing the breakdown of the color and stuff, it's kind of like a Paris green. So we brought it back to the original color of the 1920s. Think about that. There wasn't that many cars around. What did we have? We had a Model T in the 1920s. Yeah. That's kind of it for the main person. And to have a gas station that's held together all those years is pretty amazing.
So that was really kind of for the elite of Pasadena, I'm guessing.
Yeah, and farm workers, I guess, farmers and that sort of thing.
Huh. And so this is going to be a gallery?
No, it's just going to be a production space.
Oh, just production? Okay.
Production
space. You're not going to use it as an office or anything?
For right now, we have to kind of let the property
do it.
Okay. And then, but my main focus after Showcase House is to open another gallery out in Palm Springs.
Well, are you not working on a home there too?
I just got my own house in Palm Springs.
So this is what everyone wants to know. Okay, so here we go. One of the best, if not the best designer in Pasadena is tackling his own makeover, extreme makeover. And if I remember correctly, you said that when you showed up, you had to take at least a trailer or two of junk out.
Yeah, it was
what was
pretty
all
bad.
Bad news.
There was a lot of finger pointing,
thing.
But definitely a hoarder, and they just walked away from just such a mess. I don't leave a property that I've sold in such a disastrous state. I can't imagine somebody would do that. But, at the end of the day, it's an amazing house. It was, if you know a little bit about architecture and designers and stuff, it was Alexander's last house that he built before he and his brother slammed into the mountainside. So it's kind of interesting in that respect. And it has amazing views. I look out my backyard and I see Bob Hope's house up on the mountain.
So it really is in Palm Springs.
Oh, yeah. It's hardcore Palm Springs. And, I'm on a golf course. So, I'm living a retired man's life while I'm working like a slave.
So as you are kind of reinventing yourself and your space, what kind of advice would you give to people when they find a place and then all of a sudden, there's still a lot to be done. Where are you going to begin?
I'm kind of in a good position because I have to focus on Showcase House and getting my marketplace up and going. So it gives me that time, forces me to not do anything with the house.
To kind of dream about it.
Yeah,
think,
kind
let
of
it marinate.
see. Yeah. And there's a lot of just physical work, like scraping walls and
So is that a
pulling down.
mistake we make? We jump too fast?
Jump too fast. Yeah.
then
Let
we
the
would-
house tell you what it needs. Figure out, because when you look
You're
at
a
the house,
whisperer is what you are.
yeah, you have to, let it marinate in your head, and the house will tell you what it needs. And even on colors, I mean, you instinctively just want to, paint everything
Yeah.
white, or whatever your favorite color is, splash it all over the place. But let the house talk to you.
Otherwise, you might regret it, and then you're stuck with something. Although, you
Then you have another, it's just paint
it's
or
just
wallpaper
paint, but
or
still,
whatever.
but it's a lot of work. I mean,
Yeah.
we say it's just paint, but still, it's like, okay, you can easily then put that off manana
Yeah.
another year or two, because it's a big job. All right, when we come back, we're going to get some more tips from Mr. Paul Devine on how you are going to be decorating this place, and how do we choose artwork and frame it and really make our house look beautiful, right? You're listening to Home Wizards. Cindy Dole. A little bit later on, we're going to find out how they made up the bathroom, one of the small bathrooms at the Showcase House, and then still later, if you're thinking about working from home, or if you already are working from home, how to really have a great home office. We'll talk with one of the other designers featured at the Pasadena Showcase House, and later we're going to be giving away tickets here on my website to see the show on us. Just check it out at cindydole.com. Cindy Dole, Home Wizards. We're back in just a bit.
The west side, so I reach for my 40 and I turn it up. Designated driver, take the keys to
What a man, what a man, what a man, what a mighty good man. I said, what a mighty.
Yeah, we got a lot of mighty good men here today. We're talking with Paul Devine. He is one of my favorite designers. You always see him at the Pasadena Showcase House, and you were rated the best designer in Pasadena according
I know.
to
Sympathy vote, I think.
no. What magazine or
Pasadena Weekly.
Pasadena Weekly?
Very
wow.
fancy.
So now the pressure is on.
Yeah.
What makes a designer a good designer? I mean, it's all kind of personal taste.
Yeah, it's exactly. And however you bend your style. I mean, there's a contemporary
to a
traditional.
client or to a trend
Yeah.
or to a
And I think more importantly, it's not even so much the style, but the connection that you have with the client.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's not what you want the house to look like. It's what the client wants their house to look like and what they want to portray to the world.
It's like when you go to the hairstylist
Yeah.
to get your hair cut.
And then you come out with a red curly wig.
And you say, wait, I wanted that. Here's the picture. And they're like, no, this is what you need
Yeah.
this. This is what I want you to have.
Yeah.
Right?
I don't need to look at their house.
Yeah.
It's all about their enjoyment.
All right. Well, give us an idea as we kind of segue into, here we are in 2011, we're already into April. What are some things that we should be looking at in respect to our home to be kind of thinking more like you would think? To be free, to feel
Artwork
free.
and collections.
Yeah.
Artwork and collections.
Okay.
I think that when you go into somebody's home, I mean, it's very easy to
Because
paint a wall.
I lock up on artwork. I mean, I love photos and collections, but I mean, artwork I think is tricky to select.
whatever you like. I mean, whether it's antique botanicals or maps or
Oh, I love maps. Love maps.
personal photographs and collections. That I think makes a home unique. Your own expression is your artwork.
But and you would say that we need to have some kind of a continuity of that.
You know what?
Repetition.
It's great to have something that's kind of themed out, whether it's the color of the frame. You can have all sorts of different styles, but if you're looking down a hall and you have wood and silver and gold and, patterned moldings and clear moldings, it gets a little bit busy and complicated, and it's hard for a lot of people to pull that look off. But taking that same idea and just giving it a simple color, whether it's the mat or the frame, that can help tie the room together.
And that sounds like something that could be relatively inexpensive.
Yeah. I mean,
To
a
get some
simple
prints or-
black
Yeah.
paint on an old beat up molding, or just collect something like wood moldings and just keep them all in different shades and colors and wood types. That's beautiful.
Are you a fan of mirrors, framed mirrors?
I am. And I'm also a fan of what they used to do in the 70s, where they used to have big walls of mirrors, and then you would hang another framed mirror on top of that.
Yeah, you've done that. I've seen that. I love
Did
that.
I do that? Was that
love-
one of my old tricks? Yeah.
I think so. And then you might have used it like velvet ribbon or
Oh,
something.
yeah, I love the velvet ribbon.
Yeah. I mean, I think that kind of gives you that extra dimension. What is it about that?
Yeah, it's all about detail. Give the client a little bit something extra that makes it unique and makes it custom, and not something that you can buy at one of the chains art stores.
All right, we got a question for you.
Oh, great.
Heidi's calling in. Hey, Heidi, thanks
hi,
for
Heidi.
being here and listening to the show.
Hi. Well, thanks a lot, too.
Well, so what's going on with your house?
Well, first of all, I just love your show, Cindy, so thanks for taking my call. I have lived in my home for 14 years, and when I initially moved in, I did many, many, many things, and it looked great. And I really haven't done anything since, and now everything is just looking old and tired. The kitchen could use updating. The bathrooms could use updating. My flooring. I mean, so where do you even begin? It's an awesome project. I don't even know where to start.
When I work with a client, I say pull all the magazine resources that you like, whether it is an architectural digest or a woman's fashion magazine. It doesn't matter what it is. Pull things that speak
Or how about a
to
TV
you.
show like Mad Men?
Well, I'm talking about image. Yeah, that's great.
yeah.
But you want to develop a collection of images.
The whole look of a room.
It doesn't even have to be a room. Just things that you like. Whether it is a fancy high heel shoe,
It could be a place. It could be
a
travel.
place,
It could
and
be-
then when you get that all assembled, lay it all out, and then you can start to see a common thread,
a story.
a story. And then also, since you don't know really where to begin, look at your house and let your house tell you what it needs. So if you have a Mediterranean house, a Japanese decor probably wouldn't fit.
But in terms of prioritizing, because it sounds like Heidi is feeling overwhelmed, I mean, where do you begin? Do you go with, I mean, it almost, do you go with the logical choice, the boring choice? Okay, my house really needs a new furnace. Or do you go with the pampering, it's all about me choice? I'm going to go with something fun.
It all depends on the budget.
Yeah.
A furnace costs a lot more money than a gallon of paint.
Yeah.
I would start with
And you want to
just
feel like
editing
you're making progress.
Yeah.
Otherwise, when you continue to feel overwhelmed and not get anywhere, you give up sometimes.
Exactly. Start with editing it then. Clean out the room. Take out the pieces of furniture that are not in good quality or aren't really functional or just taking up space. Get rid of those, look at the room one more time, and then the progress will start.
Okay. I hope that helps you, Heidi. And I think that we all kind of go through that. And especially, I mean, here you are a designer. You go through that, don't you?
Oh, yeah.
Do you feel kind of overwhelmed sometimes?
Oh, yeah. Especially right now with moving into, a new house.
Yeah.
I brought some furniture that's not going to be right for the house. So they're just placeholders until I find the right perfect piece of furniture. But even with my own house, I'm starting to develop floor plans and even shopping lists. So the dream, I want to have a piano in the living room. So I have to know the sizes. I can start shopping for prices in different consignment stores instead of just going out to, the big mega piano dealer and paying top dollar. If I have a shopping list and I have a little bit of a punch list, I can knock off all the things that I need for the house one after another.
We had a designer on a couple weeks ago, and I loved his suggestion in terms of where to begin. And I think there was something really smart, and you kind of talked about this too, in terms of editing. He suggested, without even spending a thing, that on a Friday night that you focus on maybe the room where you spend the most time. Maybe it's your family room, your living room or something. And clear all of the tchotchkes, all of the little things, the candles, the frame pictures, and put it on the dining room table. Have that almost like as a prop table.
Right.
And put those into groups so you can see, oh my God, I've got 10 frames. I have 15 shelves. What the heck am I thinking?
Yeah.
Put them there, and then now look at this bare room, right? And see which pieces of furniture you like, and then put only certain pieces back. And what do you think about that? I mean, doesn't that kind of
I think that's
add
a great
fr-
idea, even with the artwork. Sometimes it's
Yeah.
nice to just take things down.
Take the artwork down.
And
Dust
whatever
it
hung
off.
above the sofa, all of a sudden it's going to hang above your bed.
Right.
Move
Yeah.
it around.
Use things from one room now in
Right.
another, repurposing almost like how they do to stage homes to sell them, right?
Exactly.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
if you love it, and if it's of quality, it's going to work in whatever room you want to develop it in.
Now, what's the color that you want to try in your new home? Because I know you're not about white.
You know what? The house, it does kind of scream white.
Does it
but
really?
I think I'm going to do really natural woods and linens.
Like
and
beigey.
Beigey's unbleached, but natural textural fibers so that
Grays.
it's all grays. I love grays.
I love
I
grays.
love black. Like a hand rubbed, lacquered black, things like that are all great. But what I really want is it's all about the outdoor experience, bringing the inside and out. And I don't think a lot of patterns and florals, for me personally, for this particular modern house that I'm trying to
That's all
transition.
the modernism is about, is the outdoors in, right?
Right.
Really almost feeling like you're living in a treehouse.
And that's kind of the band I'm going to do.
So the
It's going to be
house
like
is
lodgy.
almost invisible. I mean, it just,
Yeah.
I mean, it blends
Yeah.
in a Zen-like kind of way. So, all right, so let's say that someone doesn't live in a modernism home. I mean, they're not really sure
Why
what...
not?
Why? Oh, I would love to. But one quick word of advice. I mean, you can't change the architecture, but what could you change just to feel like it's a little bit better? I mean, I know you're going to say paint, but besides that, you think it's artwork then? Or
Yeah, I have to sell what I do best, and that's framing an artwork. I think bringing a personal touch, whatever
Makes
it
a
is,
statement.
at whatever price. I mean, you don't have to have original Rembrandts on your walls. You can have something that's just beautiful, whether it's an inexpensive but authentic antique print.
what is your
Or,
website, Paul?
interiordivine.com.
And how do you spell?
DEDINE.
Thank you, Paul. We're going to see you at the Showcase House
Absolutely.
Marketplace. Thank you all, guys. As we segue into hour 2, the fun continues because this is what we do every Saturday from 2 to 4. Home Wizards talking about the spaces you call home and you can go home. But not yet, because the fun continues. I'm Cindy Dole.